Well, it's that time again. Before we can have 2013 come to a close, it's time to reminisce on some of the worst things that happened to gamers in general this year. Some could have been just downright annoying, some very, very worrying, some extremely threatening, and some just batshit insane. It seemed to me that in the year of 2013, more than any other year, that there was just a lot of weird stuff thrown at gamers. And it gets to the point where you just throw your hands in the air and say, all I want to do is play games. Why do we have to put up with all this bullshit? But it seems to be a running pattern. At the end of every year, we recap the worst gaming trends. So let's get to it. I know I've mentioned this a lot in my year-end series this year, but it's worth mentioning again. These are my 7 personal picks for worst gaming trends, but they're not in any particular order. In fact, dependent on the gamer themselves, whether or not they're just a common person trying to play games at home, whether or not they're someone who's uploading content to YouTube, it's going to affect you differently. And some people might think these are a lot worse. Some people might think that one isn't as bad or may not even be viewed as a negative for them, and that's okay. But in general, these are the things that I thought sucked in the year of 2013. So here we go. It's DSP's top 7 worst gaming trends of 2013. The 7 horrible trends that affected gaming in general this year. Number 7. Completely, utterly unnecessary sequels. 2013 overall was a pretty unique year for gaming because we were on the cusp of the next generation with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and their imminent release looming in the near future. And so what it seems happened is that certain game development studios decided it was their opportunity to cash in. Now there are 2 in particular that I want to call out in this particular video. God of War Ascension and Gears of War Judgment. Now it was funny because when these games were announced, people said, why are they not official number installments in these game series? Why are they kind of being treated almost as spin-offs? And as more information was leaked and eventually released to the public, we realized these were kind of side story titles. They were additional content that maybe fleshed out a backstory, something that maybe happened before the mainstream titles had actually taken place. And so really what they were dialed in, cashed in, money-grabbing, crappy games. And I hate to say that, but these games don't need to exist. What ended up happening is that these game studios and developers realized they didn't have a game that was going to be ready for the launch of the next gen. And they probably wouldn't have games of these famous and lauded series ready for next gen for quite some time. So they decided to completely push and rush out really bad semi-sequel spin-off games this year that were a complete waste of money and a complete rip-off to the common gamer who maybe didn't do their research and realized that these were completely superfluous to anything. You can skip both of these games and miss absolutely nothing. There's nothing new, nothing fun. In fact, in a lot of ways, these games are scaled back from their predecessors, and it was a complete way to steal money from gamers who were just looking for a new fix when it came to their most favorite gaming series. So, Gears of War Judgment, God of War Ascension were not very great games. In fact, I think that they don't need to exist and that we owe a public apology from these stupid game studios pushing out crap like this just to get a quick buck instead of waiting and spending their time working on the next gen releases. Shame on you. Up next, a really strange, forced mandatory change has a negative effect for gamers and hell, for a lot of other people too. Check it out.